Warren Jestin, the chief economist of Scotiabank, said my plan was realistic and necessary. Carol Wilding even commended my plan as a positive first step in addressing how I balance the 2011 budget. And while there is an operating assumption, about $100 million from the province of Ontario, that is impactful in terms of next year's operating budget, it's not true that I'm relying on the sale of city hard assets for operating budget purposes in 2011. But I'll tell you why my balanced budget blueprint is so important. It's designed to get Toronto's fiscal house in order so that we can make investments in priorities for people, transportation, and excellent services, including free transit for seniors. And let me just stop there for a minute and make one key point. No single candidate in this campaign holds a monopoly on the importance of stamping out waste at City Hall. Rob Ford says he'll do it, and I grant him this much. I think he means it. But he has badly exaggerated how much savings he can achieve, and he's already broken trust by breaking his oft-repeated promise on eliminating the land transfer tax. I have set reasonable reductions in costs. I can tell you how I will do it. Mr. Ford did not, so he cannot. And that is the big difference between us. Let me say as plain as I can that if I do win this election, no one at City Hall can claim surprise when I arrive on the scene and begin an unprecedented examination of the city's budget. I am committed to cutting waste, and I'll do it the only way it can honestly be done, with a line-by-line review of the budget. Every expenditure will have to be defended. Every commitment will be held to the light, and if a good reason cannot be offered as to why a dollar is being spent, then it will go unspent. As I've talked to people all around Toronto, I've learned that frustration isn't limited to the issue of how dollars are spent. Frustration has emerged around how distant and unapproachable our, quote, local government has become. The recent passage of a 5,000-page, one-size-fits-all, harmonized zoning bylaw now stands as the perfect symbol of that. Earlier this month, I announced a panel of experts, including John Sewell and Paul Bedford, Joan King and Steve Diamond and others, who have agreed to lead an effort to revitalize local government and restore power to our neighborhoods. And just this week, standing in front of the last factory building on the old Kodak site in Mount Dennis, an economically depressed area of our city, I unveiled my plan to use transit investments, neighborhood planning, and economic development to rebuild our inner suburbs and open the door to new jobs, new investments, and incredible new opportunities in our inner suburbs. Next week, I'll release a strategy for dealing with supportive housing and homelessness. As for too many in Toronto, this continues to be a way of life, even when it's obvious that it's no way to live. We are a caring city. We can and we must do better. I've walked Eglinton from my Etobicoke roots through Weston, where I was born, all the way to the east. I've caravanned to 44 wards in 4 days. I visited temples, mosques, mandirs, gurdwaras, synagogues, and churches in every part of Toronto. And you know what it has proved to me yet again? That diversity is our strength. It's a competitive advantage waiting to be leveraged. Elect me as your mayor, and I'll make the motto of our city ring true. Beside my bed, I awake to fight for a city that I love. It's been a whirlwind of a campaign. It has been wonderful and it has been difficult. And as I said earlier, as I set out to change the city, The city has changed me. I came into this race tired that the city that I love has a bad habit of projecting itself as broke and seemingly powerless to control its destiny. I stand here 10 months later, convinced more than ever that we can do better, that Toronto's people want us to do better, and that if you elect me as mayor a week from Monday, we will do better. This is a city that I was honored to serve in the legislature. As an MPP, the work that I did, whether as a minister or as deputy premier, lies open for public scrutiny, acclaim, or failure. I know that it is impossible to act on big ideas without the risk of failure, and I accept the responsibility for my failures and for my mistakes. I don't expect anyone to overlook any errors. I demand the close and intense scrutiny because I act on the public's behalf. But I'm wiser for it, and that is what makes me a better man. Like all of us, I learn from my experiences. I have learned how to listen. I have learned how to channel my frustration and to build consensus. I know how to lead, and I do so by example. I will freeze your taxes next year. I will freeze new spending and hiring. I will declare a war on waste, and I will change the attitude at City Hall. You can expect excellent service, a transportation plan that will get you home faster and focus on creating good jobs right here. And you will get a hard-working, caring, passionate, and progressive mayor. A mayor tempered by unmatched experience, seasoned to make sensible and fair choices. So that's what you'll get with George Smitherman. I'm a man with a plan and enough furious determination and experience to get it done. Now, as I think many of you, or probably all of you know, over the past year, Christopher and I have adopted a son. His name is Michael. He was born at the same hospital as me, Humber Memorial. And 20 years from now, when Michael is reading the clippings, invariably online and not in paper form, from this campaign, I want him to know that for me, on February 5th, this campaign ceased to be about politics. It ceased to be simply about transit and waste and how government runs. At a certain point, this campaign was no longer about me or about us. It became about him. What this city needs now is a consensus builder, a leader with an instinct to unite, not divide. Toronto needs a leader who wants to build one community, not a leader who is a community of one. I tell you today that I will not say anything just to win. I will say what I mean and only what I know I can deliver, working together with City Council and the people of Toronto. I offer a balanced approach, and as a mayor, my commitment will be to make progress, not by tearing down so much of the good we have built here, not by harboring resentments which are sure to divide us. We all want change. We all want honesty in government, and I am committed to being that change. I'm running for Mayor of Toronto to give back what it has always given me, a safe, considerate, and compassionate home. And I'm running for Mayor because I want to live in a city where spirit, where love, where compassion, and responsibility continue to have a home. My greatest fear is not losing this election. Rather, that I will never get the chance to give back to this city what this city has given to me. Together we can rebuild. Together we can repair. I want to lead the responsible change this city needs, motivated by all of the right reasons. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how the campaign will end in 9 days, but I can tell you that I will give Toronto everything that I've got, every ounce of energy and determination and experience to help build on the strengths of this already great city. My name is George Smitherman, and on October 25th, together, let's get it done.